Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to look at the oil and natural gas, do our daily technical analysis update on it. I'll give you my financial opinion on it, and we're going to jump right on in. So here we go. This is crude oil. We've got this pattern that we've created. It broke to the upside of the pattern. We've got this scary move lower that everyone's, scary. But we have a hammer candlestick here. The buyers came in and pushed this back up throughout the day. What does that look like? Let me take a 5-day thing here. And what I'm looking at is the end of this day. So we have this downtrend coming. That's what the downtrend is. And at the end of the day, it popped higher. So it kind of broke that downtrend at the end of today. And that's what this candlestick looks like here. That's what that looks like. So we could see a bounce here to the upside. And that's what I'm hoping for. Hopefully that the pullback is hopefully done. I'm not calling for it. What I'm saying is that the buying pressure stepped in at the end of the day, and hopefully that momentum can continue us higher into tomorrow. Natural gas is finding a little bit of support. This is a bullish piercing pattern, usually a reversal candlestick on the short term for a move higher. Now, looking at some of the companies, they did sell off, but we're finding some support here with the buyers. The buyers are stepping in, they're putting wicks at the bottom of the candlesticks, and we're finishing higher than the closing price. So usually that's a reversal candlestick. And what does this mean if you were to chart it out? It means that the downtrend line is broken and that we are setting up for a potential move higher of a bottoming pattern. So that's what it means on the short term. Are we going to make this the bottom for a while where we really start to make a move higher? That is yet to be determined, because sometimes these guys bounce up and then they can roll back over and retest this bottom again, or go even a little bit lower. That is also a possibility because we have a lot of momentum heading lower. But the first step is to reverse the momentum and come back up. That's what I think we're going to do here in the short term. I just don't know if it's going to stick for the long term. We may bounce around or even make a little bit lower low. So the way that I play this is I sprinkle in a little bit just in case, and then we see what happens. SM Energy getting sold off, but again, it has that nice big wick at the bottom. Remember, this is my biggest position, and this here is a very large move in my account. Very big. I am not afraid. Why? Because I still think the trend is intact. It's still intact. And we've got the reverse candlestick pattern here. We'll see what happens. Again, we could bounce up, roll back over. We could roll back over, but that is unknown right now. And we're going to have to see what happens. CDEV, CDEV, and all these are going to be very similar. I think we're going to see a lot of these hammer candlestick patterns. We're still inside the pattern for CDEV. We have the hammer candlestick pattern, and hopefully we can get a bounce here to the upside and some momentum. And we'll have to see what happens after the next couple of trading days. We're starting to see all these hammer candlestick patterns developing, which is a reversal candlestick to move on higher. Will it last? I don't have that answer for anyone. I don't know the path yet, but we have to see what the buyers do here. We have to see how strong they step in. CPE, hammer candlestick pattern, Athabasca oil, it's still above everything. It still looks fantastic in my opinion. Recaf getting a little bit of a sell-off today. We've got CPG is back to its retest with a big hammer pattern. I like it down here. Northern Oil and Gas, another hammer candlestick pattern, doing a full retest move, basically. That looks good. GTE, it's right back at its support. Looks good. Tellurian, moving on, bullish piercing pattern for a potential move higher. Pedevco, right at its support. We've got Oasis right at support, finding it. It closed right at that top there, so it's above the support area. CRK is actually putting in a bullish piercing, which is a bullish move to go higher. So that's really ultra bullish company. Sandridge finding a hammer candlestick. I like it there. Ring Energy, another one that's putting in a bullish hammer candlestick pattern. Surge Energy, bullish hammer candlestick pattern. We've got Tamarack Valley opening low and then coming back up with the momentum. So that's looking a little bit, it looks okay. Hammer candlestick pattern in Crescent Energy. Vermilion getting the hammer candlestick pattern. Meg Energy getting the hammer candlestick pattern right on support. OIH, yeah, that's getting hit, but it's got the hammer, boys. It's got the hammer. We don't want it to drop the hammer, do we? coming on back. That, sold off on Tetra Technologies. Rig finding a little bit of that hammer pattern in its DNA. Pump getting sold off, but again, hammer candlestick type pattern. EXTN, again, we could see a bounce here or sideways movement. It looks like the buyers are stepping in towards the end of the day. Hammer candlestick on Valaris. MMA offshore handle candlestick pattern. TDW. Guys, these are all the same. Like, here's the thing. I don't have to go over all of these things, on a daily basis. I get it. It gets a little bit monotonous. When you see a part of it, it can basically extend to the rest of everything. So we're going through this. They all have hammer candlestick patterns. They're all above their big breakouts. Everything looks good. The trend is still intact. And if I didn't go over your particular one, it's okay, guys. They all basically trade the same. If oil goes down, the whole sector goes down. It's not contained to one or two companies. But of the ones that look really good, sign up to the Finding Value website, Platinum membership. I'll go over which ones exactly that I'm buying and why they look good. So when looking at the overall big picture view here, the big picture view, the question you should be asking yourself is the trend still intact? And the answer is yes, the trend is still intact. So then your question should be, is this a buying opportunity? And the answer is yes, I think it's a buying opportunity. So then the question is what companies, and that's why I started the whole Finding Value website below with the Platinum membership to get you guys what I think are the best companies at the right time. Is now the right time to be buying these companies? That's a tough question because I don't necessarily know the exact path. We don't have bottoming patterns yet in some of these companies, but I think we're getting closer. We're getting closer. And in some areas, I would be a buyer. I would be in some of the areas. It might be in some of the oil companies. Which ones? I mean, that's why I created the website. But they're turning around. We're getting a little bit of buying pressure. We need to see that buying pressure continue. And we could bounce back up. And I'll use this as an example. We could bounce back up where we come on down. There's a lot of momentum. We could come back up and kind of roll back over a little bit. And we could find some sort of bottom somewhere in the vicinity. And there's a possibility that the buyers come in here and just launch this thing. Because we still have ultra low inventories in oil, ultra low. And they're continuing to run deficits. So the fundamental picture behind this is still all intact. What's happening is a lot of people see the price movements and then they say, oh, it's not working because the price is going down. You will always have price movements that go up and down in markets. They will pull back even though the fundamentals have never been better. That's how markets move. So then the question that you should be asking is, I need to learn how markets move. That is what you probably need to learn if you're getting scared in these market pullbacks. Because if you're getting scared, you don't believe in the thesis. You don't believe in the fundamentals. You don't understand what you should be understanding. You need to understand the fundamentals. You need to understand that inventories are low and this isn't going to be fixed overnight. A scare of 50 basis point rate hike with news that came out doesn't solve this. So in my opinion, it's a buying opportunity. And what companies that I would be buying at this time and in what sectors is what I share on my website in the Platinum membership. But overall, guys, you gotta have some confidence here. You gotta have some confidence, and it's not about getting scared off of price movements. The objective and the end goal isn't to have your account make new highs every single day. The goal and the objective is to accumulate as many shares that you can, which includes pullbacks along the way. And if you get pullbacks, you should be accumulating the pullbacks. Now, I'm not saying that you should be accumulating this particular second in all of the companies. You have to wait for buying pressure to come on in. We're starting to see buying pressure. Doesn't mean that you just offload all your money. You can do, sprinkles, get a little couple of shares in companies that you think that look good, that companies that maybe you're underexposed to, that you want to gain exposure to. So all of this matters. It all matters. You have to be relaxed. It's not the end of the world. And guess what? You don't have to hit quarterly earnings estimate. You don't have to hit any quarterly objectives. We are individual investors. We can cost average in slow. We can ride this stuff all around. And if it comes back up in a major way, which I think will happen, Our goal is to hold this for, the entire trend. The trend isn't done. We just have a pullback. Pullback should be buying opportunities for higher moves in the future. All right, guys, I'll end it there. Thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.